Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History for April 8th. April 8th is the 98th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 99th in leap years, with 267 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is bolt. Bolt can either be a noun or a verb, and also has some contronym definitions. As a noun, bolt can mean a lightning strike, a shaft or missile designed to be shot from a crossbow or catapult, a short, stout, usually blunt-headed arrow, a wood or metal bar or rod used to fasten the part of a lock that moves to lock or unlock with a key, a metal rod or pin for fastening objects together that usually has screw threads along a shaft and head and is secured by a nut. A bolt can be a roll of cloth or wallpaper of a specified length, a metal cylinder that drives the cartridge into the chamber of a firearm, locks the breech, and usually contains the firing pin and extractor. Bolt can be a block of timber to be sawed or cut, or a short round section of a log. As a verb, bolt can mean to move suddenly or nervously, to move or proceed rapidly, to break away from control or a set course, to dart off or away. In this context, bolt can mean to break away from or oppose one's previous affiliation, as with a political party or a sports team, to produce seed prematurely. Bolt can also mean to secure with a bolt, to attach or fasten with bolts, to eat hastily or without chewing. You may have noticed the opposing definitions of bolt, where it can either mean to secure or to run away quickly, making it, in these contexts, a contronym. Bolt comes to us from Middle English, Anglo-French before that, and is of Germanic origin before that. The first known use of the word bolt depends on which meaning you're talking about and ranges from the 1300s to the 1600s, again, depending on which meaning you're talking about. Bolt. All righty, and with that, in the year 1079, a man known as Walklin, he was Bishop of Winchester. He began work on a new cathedral. It only took 14 years to complete, and I say only because they didn't have cranes and high-rise equipment and concrete trucks. This was all manual labor, and many similar projects took a lot longer than 14 years. Anyway, on April 8th in the year 1093, a new Winchester Cathedral was dedicated by Walklin, the first Norman Bishop of Winchester. Winchester Cathedral, by the way, is a cathedral of the Church of England and is one of the largest cathedrals in Winchester Cathedral. Yeah, Europe. It's one of the largest cathedrals in Europe. That's what I thought it said, and for some reason I wrote down England. Okay, there's a little piece of my process going on there. So we'll just read that last sentence again. Winchester Cathedral, by the way, is the cathedral of the Church of England and is one of the largest cathedrals in Europe. The Venus de Milo was discovered on the Aegean island of Milos on April 8, 1820. The statue is thought to have been created somewhere between 130 and 100 BC to represent Aphrodite, the Greek goddess of love and beauty. So why is a statue of Aphrodite called Venus? Well, Venus is the Roman name for Aphrodite. The statue is sculpted from marble, and it's a great example of ancient Greek sculpture. She currently resides on permanent display in the Louvre Museum in Paris. Now, I've got to ask you, have you ever been to New York City? If not, I'm sure you've seen photos or film of the iconic area located in Midtown Manhattan at the juncture of Broadway and 7th Avenue. Originally known as Longacre Square, I'm talking about Times Square, which was renamed Times Square after the New York Times on April 8, 1904. Now, here's a deep one, kids. Dementia is a disorder of the brain whose most notable manifestation is cognitive decline. Those are big giant words, more or less mean that people's thinking becomes impaired, they become forgetful, they can't take care of themselves properly. Dementia is considered a major neurocognitive disorder with varying degrees of severity and a wide variety of causes. That said, many of us have heard of Alzheimer's disease. In fact, I think most people, when they hear the word Alzheimer's, think forgetfulness. The idea of Alzheimer's is so prevalent in the public mind that many people tend to think that any form of dementia is Alzheimer's, but that is inaccurate. Alzheimer's does account for probably 60 to 70% of dementia cases. Alzheimer's disease is named after the German psychiatrist and neuropathologist who first characterized the disease, differentiating it from other forms of dementia. We can thank the heartbreak and travails of a woman named Auguste Dieter for Dr. Alzheimer's characterizations. Auguste's mental state began to decline noticeably around the time she was about 50 years old, probably before that, but that's when things started really getting bad. And within a few years, her husband was completely unable to take care of her at home. Mr. Dieter was advised to admit Auguste to a mental hospital, which happened to be where Dr. Alzheimer worked. He first met her there, studied her case, and gave her the first diagnosis of the type of dementia that now bears his name. All that said, on April 8, 1906, Auguste Dieter, the first person to be diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, died. She was 56 years old. And that's all I have for now. Thank you so much for watching. Give it a like if you enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this with a link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoyed this series, you could check out the playlist that includes these videos. I'll have a link in the description to that. That description lives on YouTube, so for other platforms, I'll include the link to my blog page that will also have all those links. My blog is called No Really. And you can also find me on Rumble, Parler, BitChute, and Getter. All those links in the description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.